Hello there! So I just got done watching Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. It was starring Luke Evans, Rebecca Hill, and Bella Heathcote. Um, she was in Time. I couldn't really. I don't really. She's a very familiar face, and she's kind of. I don't think she's ever kind of played the lead role in a big movie before. I could be wrong, but yeah, she was very. In fairness, now she was very good in this, and so are the other two actually. It was it was interesting because the last time I seen Luke Evans in a big film, it was well, it's Dracula Untold, but I know he was in Beauty and the Beast as the Beast, and that went down very well. I like Dracula Untold, but didn't work. Anyway, so yeah, so like you hear a lot about Stan Lee and how he created all of the superheroes for Marvel Comics, like he came up with Marvel Comics. But you never really hear about the guys who invented the DC superheroes. And like this movie's all about basically the the guy and his wife and his girlfriend who came up with Wonder Woman. Well, he came up with Wonder Woman, but his girlfriend and his wife inspired him to come up with Wonder Woman. Um, so yeah, kind of, I kind of, it starts off where he's being interviewed by the blonde woman from Nashville. I can't remember her name. But yeah, she was, she was kind of questioning him on the morality of the Wonder Woman comic book and whether or not it's she was saying it isn't suitable for children, and he was saying, well, his disc theory kind of says, well, kids should get used to this kind of thing, little boys should get used to strong women being in their lives, and it was a good point, but maybe some of the stuff he was doing in the comic books was a bit too much. But then I thought, well, the amount of stuff, like she gave out, they're hog tying. She's hog tying a guy. Yeah, the hog tie a guy in a western. Like, and nobody bats an eyelid. But when a woman does it, oh my gosh! Like, it's just silly. Really, I mean, I. But anyway, uh, so the story kind of starts off with him teaching a class, and well, it starts off being him being interrogated, but he has to tell the story of how he came up with Wonder Woman, and he has to defend Wonder Woman, and well, the movie tells the story of how he came up with Wonder Woman, and it starts in Harvard in 1928, because there's where he was lecturing, and he was living with his wife, and I think the wife was working there too. Rebecca, the girl, or Rebecca plays anyway. So basically, Bella comes into the classroom and she's a student, and the two of them kind of they notice her and they kind of laugh about her, and but then they realise, through time that the both of them actually fancy her, and they kind of so eventually the three of them get into a relationship, and it's really taboo, especially for the time. I mean, but like, I was thinking, like, there's a lot of Mormons around at the time with a few wives, like, but anyway, I suppose that's a different part of the United States, but. So yeah, I've got I wrote down a lot of notes about this. And you know, it just really tells, a lot of the movies just really their love story, kind of, and then for like the first hour, and then eventually, of course, um, people find out about them, and then they have to, then Bella gets pregnant, and they have to move basically, and get new jobs and everything, but it's when just a chance thing of the professor going to a lingerie store and kind of getting into lingerie, and then the owner of the store kind of shows him into the back room and kind of shows him uh, S&M stuff, and like pornography was illegal back then, and but he shows him the Black Cat, I think that's what it was called. It was like a porno comic book, but it looked kind of funny. But yeah, there's where he kind of got the idea from, and yeah, the story flows quite well, and everything like the movie goes quite well. I wasn't really that bored about it, and there was a lot of like the set designs. I think they were in Harvard, but all the costumes were great, and then there was vintage like airplanes flying around in a field where they were having a picnic, and that was just so bizarre. And like they could just walk up to a guy and say, "Hey, can you give us a plane ride?" Like you can't do that anymore. But that's like crazy. But yeah. So I mean, I don't really want to give away too much about the movie because it is actually a good movie, and it is just basically about their love story, and they have a bunch of kids. They have a lot of kids, and then eventually when they do move to New York in 45, you know, they have more kids, and then the kids kind of go to school, but then of course they find out about, the neighbours find out about the relationship, so Bella has to move away with her two sons, and you know, then the couple, the professor and the wife, realises that they're lost without her, and they can't stand being without her, and then, you know, they want her back, and there's other reasons why they want her back too, and I won't really get into it, but it's, you know, it's kind of sad, and it's very romantic kind of movie, but it's kind of like these three guys were very ahead of their time. I think if they're around nowadays, it'd still be a little bit taboo, but I think that like, I mean, they'd get away with it. Really, I mean, they would. Nobody would really care, I don't think. But I mean, I wrote a load of notes. Oliver Platt is in this, and he plays the guy who's like the head of, I don't think it was DC Comics back then, but he was the head of a comic book place, and he plays the guy who basically found Superman. So, and he's got this big Superman painting in his office, and it looks awesome. Like, it really looks cool. But yeah, and then so like he gives the comic book a chance, and then the comic book gets launched, and then it of course the kids love it, and then Wonder Woman integrates with Superman and Batman, and you know, and then she really gets embraced by America, but then of course the guys, like, you know, from Decency of America comes along, and it's just you know, I study a lot about that, and like they just get into movies and they don't make any sense. Like, this is okay, but this isn't okay, even though it's the exact same thing. only it's a woman that's doing it. A guy can do it, but a woman can't do it. Like, it's just so stupid. And the woman was just like, women can't be in power like that. And I was just like, dude, you're in power. You're the head of this thing. You're judging him. What are you talking about? He's trying to talk to you like you're the big strong woman, and the two either guys, either two old farts either side of her, didn't talk at all. They're just like mean the whole time. And it's just like, well, clearly she's the boss. Clearly she's in charge. Clearly she's like the dominant force in the place. And it's just like, yeah, but but this is the wrong kind of thing. You know, just silly. But it was the early days of feminism, and it was the super early days. I think women just got the vote, and yeah, and like it was just coming out of the Second World War, so it was kind of all, you know, it was too late. It was too early before the 60s, and you know that's when women power really came up, and it's really happening recently with the whole Me Too campaign, which is doing a lot of good, I think. But yeah, there is like S&M stuff in this, and there's a lot of mature scenes in this, nudity, and it's very tastefully done actually, and it's very sweet. It is. It's a romance movie. I think it's kind of like a date movie, really. But it showed the inspiration where he got the professor's inspiration where how he came up with Wonder Woman, and all the different. You know, I wonder with this film how much of it's real, and much of it's kind of just for the film. But like like the two like his wife and his girlfriend give him like an airplane, and it was a glass airplane, and like that was kind of to imply that's how he came up with the invisible airplane for Wonder Woman. But yeah, it really does show how he came up with Wonder Woman and her background and everything, and it was you know, and then there's Wonder Woman symbolism throughout the movie. I think if I was a bigger Wonder Woman fan, I would have gotten all of it. I got some bits of it, Easter eggs, but yeah, and then there's this great shot of Bella in kind of a very skinny costume and with the rope, and she kind of like, you know, she's in this light, and it's beautifully shot, or like, you know, it's like a silhouette of Wonder Woman before he kind of even came up with Wonder Woman, you know. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of it. I really enjoyed. I liked the movie. Yeah. Um, exactly. I'd recommend it as kind of a date movie. It is a love story, and it's a very interesting, different kind of a love story, and yeah, and if you're of course a Wonder Woman fan, watch it, because it tells a lot about the guy who came up with it, and explains a lot of um, explains a lot about the character of Wonder Woman actually in the early days, in the early comic books. Of course, I don't think she's that crazy right now. And the most interesting part too is that they actually invented the lie detector, which is crazy. He invented the lie detector himself and the wife, and like of course then they put it into the comic book with the lasso of truth. Isn't that what it's called? So yeah, it's really good. So yeah, So yeah, um, that's it. I do recommend it. I'd give this movie, whew, yeah, I'd say 16s. I'd say 16s plus. Because, like I say, there is nudity, there is adult scenes in it. But if you cut them scenes out, actually, it'd be okay. But then there's um, mature situations in it. So, yeah, I'd recommend it for, like, the older comic book fans. Don't show this to kids at all. Do not show this movie to kids. Um, so, and that's it. Yeah, so I'll see you again next time. See you later.